When we talk about styling, we have a massive front end in this car and a chrome bar going alongside the grille, which looks stunning.
The headlights of this car have a very complex design which looks quite good, especially considering the fact that the DRLs of this car integrate properly with the chrome bar that goes along the grille of this car.
Down below, we have white LED fog lamps, which is a great feature in this car. Coming to the side of this car, we can see that it has beautiful gloss black alloy wheels, but the only downside is that it has 15-inch alloy wheels. Even sedans like the City offers you 16-inch alloy wheels, but this being an SUV offers you 15-inch wheels. The ORVMs in this car are standard electronically controlled ORVMs, but the nice thing about them is that they have gloss black finish, which gives this car a good contrast.
There is the presence of sporty roof rails along the roof of this car. However, there is the absence of sunroof, which is one of the very few downsides of this car.
Coming to the rear end of this car, we can see that the styling of this is very similar to Maruti Suzuki Ertiga, and this is mainly due to the styling of the tail lamps in this car. Another thing to mention in this car is that it has black gloss finish above the chrome bar, which is a controversial styling cue according to a lot of people. If we talk about badging, we have an XL6 badging over here and a Suzuki logo in the between, and also a smart hybrid badging, as this is a smart hybrid car. And one thing to mention is that this is a Nexa car, and Nexa cars are the elite cars of the Maruti Suzuki brand. But still, they have given only a sticker on the windshield instead of giving a badging of the Nexa.
Now, when we talk about the interior of the XL6, the interior looks a lot like the Innova Krista, because the thing is, you see this wooden paneling over here which goes along the whole dashboard, and the shape and structure of the whole dashboard looks a lot like the Innova Krista, which is a good thing because the Innova Krista is a very luxurious car. Now next up, we have the steering wheel in this car. It's a multifunctioning steering wheel, and on the left side you have buttons to control the infotainment display in this car, and down below you have buttons for control the call settings in this car. You pick up a call using this button, end a call using this button, and this button over here is for the voice assistant in this car. When you trigger this button, it triggers the Google Assistant in your phone or the Siri in your iPhones, and it uses that respective voice assistant for the car as well. So this is a nice feature. And then over here you have buttons and for controlling the cruise control in this car. And this feature is one of my favorites because cruise control is one option that eases the whole driving experience while you're driving on the highway. Now after looking at the steering wheel, you don't see any kind of buttons over here or over here for controlling the center gauge display in this car. And that is a very simple reason, because the whole center gauge display can be controlled using these two stalks coming out from the gauge cluster in this car. One is over here and the second one is over there. Now let's talk about the center gauge display. First, you put the car into accessory power and it welcomes you with the Suzuki logo, which looks beautiful. And not just that, but the infotainment display also shows you the same Suzuki logo. Anyway, but once the screen starts up, it shows you a blank page so that you don't feel very clustered in the center gauge display. So that's nice. But you can use this stalk to change the screens in the center gauge display. Once you press it, it shows you the readout of your real-time average of the car and your average fuel economy of the car over here, and then you have the range of the car over here. And next we move on to this display, which shows you the driving time along with the past 10 minutes of your driving. Over on this display you have the idle stop time of the car and the total fuel you have saved due to that idling. So you've saved in the past hour and 2 minutes I have saved about 470 ml of fuel. So that's nice to know. And then you have a clock over here. It shows you the actual time right now. And a very unique thing about this, it shows the time in a way that this is actually a gauge over here. As you can see, you have gauges over here in the car. It shows you the time in a specific manner, just like that. The small is for the hour and the larger hand is for the minutes, as you all guys know. Next, we have this very unique display which shows you the torque and the power, which I think is a quite nice feature because this is a hybrid car, and it's nice to know the torque and the power of the motors and the engines at any given time. But the next display is the display that I like the most, because this is a hybrid car like I just told you. So it gives you the actual real-time information of the engine, the motor and the battery that this car has. So this, I guess, is a very nice display which Maruti has given you so that you can know each and everything what is happening inside your car. But a very unique feature in this car is this lighting over here. You see, it's giving me the green light right now because the car is turned off and it's showing me that I'm saving the maximum fuel. But this bar changes color to red, blue and green. Red means that I'm not driving good at all, but blue means that I'm driving okay, but I can do something more to save fuel. But green means that I am driving in the optimal condition and this is as much fuel I can save right now. So this, I guess, is a good way of representing that how you drive and how you could improve in driving. So this could be a competition for yourself, that you always have to drive with this green bar, which is good for you and it tells you how to drive nicely. But I'm not done with the display as of yet. When you press and hold this stalk over here, it gives you a bunch of different options. Now it does take 2 or 3 seconds to come up with this unit, but then you can rotate this stalk over here so as to use this display over here. For example, you can change a lot of things as well. For example, if I want to change my distance unit from kilometers to miles, I can do it using that. But then I go back and I get my fuel economy over here in different unit of fuel economies as well. And then you get your language, your fuel reset. Now fuel reset is a very good feature. What it does is that when you go to a gas station and then you fill up your car and then you come back so that you can manually check your fuel economy, you reset the odometer in this car. Well, you don't need to do that in this car. You can just reset it with after refuel. Whenever it senses that this car has been refueled, it would reset the odometer in this car, which is a nice feature. And then you get your temperature for Celsius and Fahrenheit. Now this set sensors option is a good option, because the thing is, when you press this, it gives you two options: normal mode and trailer mode. Now the thing is, this car has reverse parking sensors, right? So the thing is, whenever those reverse parking sensors seem that there is something behind it, it starts beeping. So the thing is, if you're driving normally and you're not towing anything, you just drive in normal mode. But then when you drive in trailer mode, it tells the car that there is something hooked up behind this car, so you don't start beeping at me without any reason, because there is a thing hooked up at the back of this car. So this, I guess, is attention to detail in this car, because not many people think about if people will tow things with their car, and they've thought about it and they've given you option in the display so that you don't hear the unnecessary beeping. Then you get your clock settings for adjusting your date and time. That's pretty normal. And then you get your door unlock. For example, you want to set when the door should be unlocked, when it should be auto locked, when it should auto unlock, and all those things. And then you get an option for lighting. For example, when you press this, it gives you a lane change. That is, there is a feature in this car that is a lane change indicator. You don't need to press the stalk completely, but even if you do just a little bit of this, it will the blinkers will blink for 3 times. You can change how much times the blinker wants to blink using this lane change feature over here. In a similar manner, you can see that Maruti has given you a lot of different options in this display, and I think this is a very good center gauge display given by the Maruti company. Now next up, we move to the window controls in this car. As the ORVMs are automated in this car, so you get this button for closing and opening the ORVMs, along with the joystick to control the position of the mirrors. But the interesting thing over here is that first, suppose you're wanting to close your ORVMs, and while you're closing the ORVMs, you also press the start stop button so as to stop the car. Those ORVMs would stop midway and they would neither close or neither open. So this is a very hilarious thing in this car, but still that's a little Easter egg in this car. Then you have your window controls over here for controlling the windows. But the interesting thing over here is that only the driver side window in this car is a one-touch control window. And speaking of features in the rear seats, you get this 12-volt charging socket for the second row passengers. Now why I specifically say second row passengers over here is that there is another 12-volt charging socket for the third row passengers over here on the left side of the seats, which is very nice. And the attention to detail in this car, I think Maruti has just killed it.
Now next up is one of my favorite features. What I'm going to do is just lock the car once, and I'm going to keep the car keys in my pocket. So as you can see, I don't have the car keys, but because the car senses that this key is around the car, all I have to do is just press this button once and I can open the door right up of this car, which is one of the most favorite features of mine in any new coming car. This feature is known as the keyless entry and go. Now why I say go is because you can lock the car in a similar manner. I just have to close the door, press the button one more time, and the car is locked. Now one feature about Maruti cars that I don't really like is how you unlock and lock this car. For example, I'm gonna unlock this car once right now. Now why I say once? Because when you press this unlock button once, only the driver's side door opens up. As you can see, I can open the driver's side door, but when I come to the rear door, I am not able to open it. I have to press the unlock button one more time so that all 4 doors of this car can unlock, and now I can open any door of this car. So this is one feature that I don't really like, and I don't know why Maruti came up with this choice of pressing the unlock button twice to unlock the car.
Now next up we're going to talk about the practicality of this car, and we're going to start with the glove box in this car. We can see that it's a very deep glove box and it's quite large as well, so you won't have any kind of problem keeping any things in this glove box. But there is one grudge, and that is you don't get any interior lighting or a ventilated glove box in this car. Now why I'm saying that this is a disappointment, because the thing is this car has AC vents where I've never seen in any other car, but they didn't give it in one very obvious position, that is in the glove box. Now why I say that they've given AC vents in very odd positions, you'll see why in just a moment. Now coming to the center console, you can see that you have this very wide place over here which is meant for keeping your phone, or you can keep other things as well, and this is a very large enough pocket for keeping much more stuff. And remember I was telling you that this car has AC vents where I've never seen? Well, this is one place. This car has AC vents in the cup holders of this car, and hence you have ventilated cup holders so that you can keep your drink cold, which is one of the best features I've seen in this car, and I'm a total fan of this. Now moving down the center console, you get this armrest over here which doubles as center console storage. Now I do agree with the fact that this center console storage is not that large. As you can see, I cannot even fit my complete hand in this, but the thing is you're still getting one center console storage over here, and extra storage spaces are never a no, so that's one nice thing. But the one thing there is a problem with, this is the adjustable center console, right? So once you bring this armrest forward, the button over here is quite back, so if you want to open it, you have to reach all the way back to open this armrest over here. You also get to see a bottle holder along with newspaper pockets for both the front doors in this car. Now next to the IRVM in this car, you also have a sunglasses holder over here which can be used to keep obviously your sunglasses. Now coming to the rear seats in this car, if we talk about practicality, you get these seat pockets for both the passenger and the driver's side seat. We also get these a bottle holder along with a newspaper pockets for both the rear seat doors in this car, which is very nice. And talking about practicality for the third row passengers, you get 2 cup holders on either side. Now towards the end of our practicality session, we come to the trunk of this car, and first we'll talk about opening the trunk. Well, sadly there is only one way to open this trunk, and that is using the request sensor under the trunk. But once you open it, you can see it's a quite large trunk, even if you have the third row seats in their position. But they are very easy to pull down. Once you pull these seats down, they go completely down. You have to use a little bit of force, but once they're down, you can see that this is a very large trunk. And obviously if you have the 2 seats down, you have a lot of space for keeping a lot of luggage in this car, and luggage will never be a problem if you're going on a long road trip in the Maruti Suzuki XL6. Now we come to the front of this car, because there is one thing that I want to show you in the engine bay of this car. Now once I open this trunk over here, you can see that there's an engine obviously, and there is a lot of empty space as well, so much so that you can even see the ground underneath me. I don't know why Maruti has wasted so much of space in the engine bay of this car, but anyways, that's one thing that I wanted to tell you guys.
Now let's talk about comfort. Now I'm in the driver's side seat, and obviously because this is the front seat, I can move the seat back and forth easily along with the backrest of this car. That's pretty easy. But there is an additional feature for the driver's side seat, and that is height adjustability. I have this lever over here which I have to pull or push in order to decrease or increase the height of this seat. But the thing is, I've seen this feature in a lot of cars, and even in manual cars, there's a lot of effort that I have to put in. But this car has a very hard lever. I have to do literally a lot of work in order to increase or decrease the height of this seat. But anyways, if we talk about the actual comfort, the seats are very soft and very comfortable, so I don't think that I will have any kind of problem going in a long road trip in this car. Now I'm here in the second row seats of the XL6, but there is one strange thing in this car. Keep in mind that this is the rear seats of this car. How many cars have you seen that actually have second row seats which are also having an adjustable backrest along with adjustable legroom? I mean, this is a fantastic feature, and the level of luxury and comfort in this car for the rear seats passenger is at par as for the front seat passenger. So this is a very nice thing. The other thing is the seat material is the same as the front seat, so obviously you won't have any kind of problem going in a long road trip even if you're the second row passenger seats in this car.
And now I'm here in the rear seats of the XL6, and the one thing that I want to tell you guys is that these seats are captain seats for the second row seats, which are really nice because you get a sense of luxury in these kind of seats, and you also get your personalized armrest for both the passengers, which is very nice. But the other thing is that you also get 4 different AC vents for the second row seats over here with an adjustable airflow, which is very nice because obviously this is a very large car and the distance to even the second row seats is very large, and so Maruti has thought of that and they have given you these AC vents, which is very nice.
Now before we tell you about the comfort of the third row seats in this car, first we'll talk about getting inside the third row seats. For that we have this lever over here, which once you push, you get a one row action for just getting a lot of space to get inside the third row seats. Now I'm here in the back row seats of the XL6, and as you can see that there is a conservative amount of legroom in the third row seats. If I pull this rear seat back in its position over here, as you can see my legs are totally crammed up against the second row seats, which is not that comfortable for a tall person, but I can say that these third row seats will be quite comfortable for a small infant or a child. So for kids the third row seats are quite good, and obviously the seat material is the same, so if someone has enough amount of legroom in this car, he won't have any kind of problem going for a long road trip in this car. And so that was a detailed review of the all new Maruti Suzuki XL6. If you like this video, please don't forget to give us a thumbs up, and don't forget to comment down below how you like this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel as it gives us more motivation to make more such videos. Thank you.